You are tuned in to EWC Cultural News Today, hosted by Amber Rodriguez.
I'm Amber Rodriguez, hosting EWC Cultural News Today. Last segment, I gave you insight on two current polarizing issues in America: gun control and abortions. Today, we will continue this developing story of how these two issues will affect the safety of our future generations. As a recap, on June 24th, the Supreme Court reversed the ruling of Roe v. Wade, a legal case made 49 years ago, holding a woman's constitutional right of choice for an abortion without excessive government restriction. The day prior, the US Supreme Court announced the New York law requiring a permit in proper cause to carry a gun violated the Second Amendment and 14th Amendment, therefore ruling that Americans have the constitutional right to carry firearms in public for self-defense. In response to the mass shootings, 2 days later, President Biden signed a bipartisan gun safety bill, marking almost 30 years to updating the nation's gun laws. The nation is still holding on to the tragedies of Uvalde, Texas, Buffalo, New York, and other areas facing loss by gun violence. This past Independence holiday weekend was meant to be a time to enjoy with friends or family. But that weekend, some Americans fought for their rights and some lost their lives. Take a look at these next images of gun violence reports over the 4th of July weekend. An article from CBS News states gun violence spiked over 4th of July weekend, with shootings reported in nearly every US state that killed a total of at least 220 people and wounded close to 570 others, according to the Gun Violence Archive. One of the most highlighted mass shooting reports occurred in Highland, Illinois. According to an article by AP News, a gunman on a rooftop opened fire on an Independence Day parade in suburban Chicago on Monday, killing at least 6 people, wounding at least 30, and sending hundreds of marchers, parents with strollers, and children on bicycles fleeing in terror. In the Midwest region, Kansas City reported 6 people affected by gun violence in 3 separate incidents, resulting in 2 deaths and 4 people injured overnight on July 4th, according to a report by the Kansas City Star. According to another report by AP News, in the early morning of July 5th, gunfire during a 4th of July block party in northwestern Indiana left 3 people dead and 7 wounded early Tuesday. The reality of lives lost from gun violence is constantly in our faces with headlines and social media. The right to an abortion compared to gun violence in this country is pushing many Americans to ask the question, why does a gun have more rights than a woman's body? Take a look at these photos I took at an Omaha protest against the overturning of Roe v. Wade from June 27th. In this first protest photo, a person is holding a sign that reads, "I just want to have as many rights as a gun." Some are focusing on the rights to abortion for cisgender women. However, this issue also affects the transgender community, men, and others with different gender identities. You'll notice the majority of this crowd in these images may be cisgender women, but a variety of people are gathered together. Men, mothers, people with disabilities, BIPOC voices, different generations and ages. Another argument made by some protesting the overturn is the role of men for pregnancy. They are part of the process from the start. If we are limiting women's bodies, why aren't men limited too? And what about vasectomies? The fight for the right to an abortion after the overturning of Roe v. Wade is still ongoing no matter the day. According to this Instagram post by Lincoln Journal-Star, hundreds spent their 4th of July protesting the overturn. Lincoln, Nebraska wasn't the only location where protests occurred on Independence Day. According to a report by the Washington Post, protesters dressed in red, white, and blue massed in front of the Supreme Court on Monday to denounce the overturning of Roe v. Wade, while other demonstrators descended on the National Mall. Later, a green-clad crowd of 100 people supporting abortion rights marched down Constitution Avenue, spreading out to span the width of the street. Protests also occurred in Roanoke, Virginia, Lansing, Michigan, Framingham, Massachusetts, San Diego, California, and other cities and states. In addition to the nationwide protests, there has been an ongoing limit to contraceptives since the overturn of Roe v. Wade. The demand for contraceptives spiked immediately. Stores like CVS and Rite Aid placed temporary purchase caps on contraceptives like Plan B and Acura to avoid shortages, according to an article by the Washington Post. The report also stated buyers appear to be stockpiling orders of multiple pills for potential future use for them, as well as their children. Both of these ongoing issues are striking the hearts of some Americans and encouraging change when it comes to children involved. The political decisions made today for abortion and healthcare, along with gun violence everywhere in the nation, will affect the generations of tomorrow. These two ongoing issues did not falter over the weekend of the Independence holiday. However, policies make change. Go out and vote. I'm Amber Rodriguez, your host for EWC Cultural News Today, and this is the future of the safety of our generations.
You've been listening to EWC Cultural News Today, hosted by Amber Rodriguez. If you'd like to make suggestions, email us at ewcfacts@gmail.com. That's ewcfacts@gmail.com. This has been an EWC Communication production.